I'm here at Oramore today with Abdelrahim Alawji, who is the author of this week's play, Sleeping Beauty Insomnia, which is part of our season of plays from the Arab world. Abed is a playwright from Beirut in the Lebanon. Very nice to have you here, Abed.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about the play.
The play, you have to know that this play was written during a workshop with the Royal Court Theatre. And your famous Scottish writer, David Gray, he was my mentor.
Yes.
Not just me, like all the people in the workshop. And it took us like about 3 years from meeting and writing and deleting and writing again to make the final draft. And this play, I had the idea from a theater in my country, and this theater is between the West Beirut and East Beirut, which is the Muslim area and the Christian area. And because things in Beirut are like that, and in 2006 there was this Israeli war on Beirut, and they start bombing a close area to the theater. So people ran away from their area and they hide inside the theater. So I had this idea of 2 different past enemies, guys who get trapped inside this theater because there's a larger war happening, and how could they live together, and how could they work together to survive. And I think the play, it's more about the war inside of us more than the war that's coming from outside. Yeah.
Tell me something, how do you feel now that you see the play on the stage and it's been translated? Does it retain everything you wanted, or has it changed?
I think I was surprised, because I was afraid that the audience, the Scottish audience, will not understand, especially the comedy, because for me in Arabic it's a very funny play, and I was afraid when it will be translated it will be like it will lose the humor. But I discovered no, it's still a comedy, and the audience were laughing all the time. And yes, I had 2 feedbacks from the audience. There's an old lady, she told me that I remind her when she was in the World War, the bombing and what we'll do in the bombing. And there's a young guy, he told me about this Celtic, non-Celtic issues, and how because there's a sentence in the play, when he asked him what are you, and he refused to say what he is, but he said, and the other said, well, you kill people, you shout, you demonstrate for your own kind, but whenever somebody asks you what are you, said, no, why you are asking me? So he felt this is he knows this situation.
So there's something universal about divisions and prejudices.
Yes, I think that's what's important in this play. The war inside us.
Yes.
The war inside us. It's general. It's everywhere. Even in the most quiet areas like Scotland, you have to discover that this war. There's somebody said men are in a war with other men because each man is in a war with himself.
Right.
So that's what makes this play global.
Right. Tell me a little bit about making theatre in Lebanon. It must be difficult. It's
very difficult because it's individual. We don't have government support, we don't have companies. The theatres in Beirut, we have to rent them to do our plays. They don't produce. No. We don't have producers, and and things are very expensive. So we don't do big sets or big lighting things. But the good thing is that it's based on friendship, because we don't have money.
No.
So we had, you are my friend, I come to you,
Yeah.
David, can you do this to
Yeah.
me? And like, so I do this to you, you do this to me. So
Right.
it's like more a friendship.
Collective effort.
Yeah, it's a collective effort, and it's not going anywhere because like they don't have chances or money to, but it's still like I don't know, genuine or like it's still beautiful. Like
Yes.
I mean.
And is there an appetite amongst audiences for theatre?
Not anymore. It was there in the 60s and in the 70s during the Civil War. Like people loved theater, but after the Civil War, people they stopped going to the theater and they prefer to spend money on something else,
Right.
like food or something.
Right.
Like
And are you hopeful that you'll be able to redevelop an audience for theatre in Beirut?
Well, I have this idea that we always said that the theater will die one day because of the technology and free, like much free entertaining, like a TV or like the cinema, 3D cinema, but it never died.
No.
Like the theater is still surviving.
It's indestructible.
Yeah, it's like because it's more human.
Yes.
And because it's more human, you can't stop theater. And I think, yes, maybe people want a break from it, but one day they will come back to it. And like in Lebanon, we have this problem. People they run away from text. Now they do more physical and multimedia things.
Right.
But I think one day they will
come back to storytelling.
To storytelling. Yes.
Well,
of
that's
course.
interesting because I think that's been our experience in this country.
Yeah.
That in the 90s and subsequent years, there was a great amount of theatre that was movement-driven, site-specific, video, all kinds of things, dance, etc. And the cutting-edge theatre was not text-driven, but slowly but surely the appetite for storytelling comes back. I should say at this stage that Abid is a great storyteller, and the other night we had an Arabian night dinner in the Brasserie or more, and Abid got up and told a lovely story. That's at the heart of your work, isn't it? Telling stories.
Yes. You know, the storytelling is the original art in the Arab world because Arabia was made of tribes.
Yes.
We're not like a static community.
No.
So we didn't have theater because theater needed a place and like lightning.
Yes, yes.
So what we developed is the art of storytelling. That this guy who is standing there telling his story and then he goes to other places to tell his stories.
Which is very like the Celtic tradition in Ireland and the Highlands of Scotland. There were the bards and the shonachis who were part of an oral tradition. It wasn't written down. They remembered stories and they told them with no theatrical effects.
And I think a story is a part of us as a human beings. Like we like to tell story. Like we even like simple that you were walking in the street and you fell down. But when you come back to when you go to the Oromore, you have to tell this story. It's the story. It's like
and elaborate.
I was walking. I was walking and I saw this beautiful woman, but I didn't. I saw this beautiful woman. I sat down. Like it's a human. It's what that's the story. It's what keep us. Children and we like that. We miss that. That's why when you hear the story, like I don't know if you noticed, but when I was talking the story in the Arabian Night, there was this old lady and she was like, oh my God, because we miss this magic. The magic story is inside of us. It's not like the magic of cinema or even theater, like we are getting it. No, we are making it because there's nothing. There's only words, and you making the magic in your. So you are seeing the thing in your mind.
Yes.
and that's why it's so natural and human. That's the power of the story.
So tell me, what are your impressions of making theatre in Scotland?
I love that. I'm a little bit disappointed because you don't have a monster in the Loch Ness, but that's not the issue. And no, I like. I loved it. I think people were open to know new things, and not just, especially about our countries, not just like what the media is saying. I don't know. I love it. Like, I don't really know.
Will you come and work here again?
I will live here. Like I will be like the monster hunter. This is my. But I'm still need to find a fund for my trip to Loch Ness and to catch.
I have to tell you that Abed has purchased a kilt. He's got a kilt pin. He's got flashes on the stockings. He's looking for a sporran, and he's really almost naturalised. And the important thing is you must see his play. It's running here at Oranmore for the rest of the week, and then next week it's going to be at the Traverse Theatre in Edinburgh. And this is probably somebody calling wanting tickets, and you would be very wise to do the same, and we hope you'll come and see the play. It's funny, it's dark, it gives a great insight into living in Beirut in Lebanon, and it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Okay.